Hi guys. So welcome to Footy Geeks. This is our new YouTube channel. Uh, this has been started by me, Parth Thakkar, and my friend Meet Rajani. We both are geeks because we are IT engineers, and we have a passion for football. So we thought about opening this channel and just having a discussion about all football related things. Uh, I'm an Arsenal fan, and Meet is a Liverpool fan. So that that is something about us. What we will be doing in this channel is that we'll be sharing videos, multiple videos in a week, where we'll be going through uh, mostly Premier League stuff, along with discussing the fantasy Premier League aspect of things as well. We will also eventually be expanding to FIFA 21 and stuff like that. But basically, we'll be doing a weekly sort of a series where we'll be mostly covering the Premier League fixtures, the FPL side of things, FPL related discussions in terms of what you can do with your teams and stuff. So that would be something that you see from us on a daily basis. Uh, So in this week's episode, we'll be basically rounding up the football transfer season because it has just ended. We'll be covering all the transfers that the EPL teams did, and mainly focusing on what it brings to the teams in terms of their gameplay styles and what it would look like in terms of your starting 11, what FPL repercussions it would mean for your teams as well, because there might be some players that moved out, or some new key signings for your teams, which will change how your teams play. So, and we have actually distributed this specific episode into two because there are 20 teams. We'll be covering the first 10 teams in terms of the alphabetical orders, and in the part two, we'll be covering the next set of 10 teams. So that's something from my side. Meet, want to introduce yourself?
So myself, Meet, and this is my friend Parth. So as he said, we are just two friends who are passionate about football, and we thought of having a channel where we can share our stuff. And I think majority all of the content would be related to football. We
Yes,
usually are passionate about fantasy Premier League, right? So
yeah,
just to give you background, we are playing since 2011 in the official league and in the another website before that, and we are finishing under 1 lakh overall rank since last 6 to 7 years.
yeah.
So we are not just there giving you advice on the basis of hunch and crunch, right? So we
In
have
fact,
been
in
doing
fact,
this stuff since
majorly, I feel that Meet, you and me both have ended in the top 10,000, 20,000 at like in many seasons. But not the
yeah.
last one because
So
it
I
was
think
affected through COVID.
yeah. So I think we took a long time uh, before coming on to this podcasting, right? So I think we will be able to help such people like us who are passionate about football, right?
Yeah,
The UCL fantasy, FPL fantasy, and
yeah,
maybe FIFA 21, which you are more aware about.
yeah.
So I guess we can share many new things over here. So hopefully we will have good viewership. Hopefully,
Yeah.
right?
So
So I guess we start.
before just starting the video, I would like to say just follow our channel. Like the videos, subscribe the videos, do your thing because it's a new channel and it would really help us because it would keep us like
Yeah.
motivated and
So
stuff, and
everyone.
we'll be doing more videos.
So I think everyone can give their feedback as well, right?
Yeah,
So this is
definitely.
just the start. We will gradually improve, but I guess we can start from here, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. With that being said, I guess we'll start the episode. Like I said, we'll be going through all of the teams in an alphabetical order. So obviously, alphabetically, Arsenal comes first, not on the Premier League top table, but at least alphabetically, Arsenal is first. Uh, so the key signings for this transfer window, definitely the deadline day signing of Thomas Partey was a crucial signing in terms of the team itself. In terms of the FPL aspect, I would say Partey would not probably be someone who would score you like tons of points, but I definitely feel he would be a regular starter and he would probably replace Xhaka or Ceballos depending on the fixture and formation that Arteta prefers. So this is like what we feel the next starting lineup would be, which is the week after this weekend. And I think Arsenal are
Yeah,
facing Man City, so we feel that they would be going for a three at the back formation, which typically is preferred for the holding out the opponents. So that
I
was the
think
key signing. Yeah,
I think Arsenal has good run after three fixtures. So
yeah,
I'm
definitely.
considering taking, I guess, either Leno or Gabriel because
I
they are the cheap option.
I
So I
feel
think I would,
the problem is Gabriel is not a guaranteed starter. When it is like two at the back formation, it might be Luis and holding, and when it is three at the back, it might also be because Gabriel is left-footed. Arteta might just prefer Tierney and Luis and holding instead of Gabriel. So I
yeah,
think
I
we'll have
was under
to
the, yeah, we will have to see few matches, but I was under the impression that what are you saying that holding will have advantage because of his being right-footed. But in the last match, I guess they played really well against Sheffield with
definitely.
Luis, Gabriel, and Tierney.
So it remains to
So
be
I
seen whether Gabriel should be a guaranteed starter. Uh, but if it is the case,
yeah,
I think you'll have to monitor it for a couple of weeks, and then we in terms of the defensive options, I think Gabriel and Tierney are the only ones who are guaranteed starters. I feel
yeah.
Leno is
If
definitely
you
someone who
if
will
you
start every game.
I think if you are looking for cheap goalkeeper option, I think Leno also fits the
Yeah,
bill
definitely
because
Leno
they have
fits
a
the bill.
good, good run after three fixtures.
Yeah. And in terms of the attack, I feel there's a no-brainer. There's Aubameyang, but the problem is, he's quite costly, and there are other options as well. So
I think
those are,
in that price, there are better options available.
yes, especially because Aubameyang still plays wide, and maybe
Yeah,
somewhere down the line he might start up front with Bukayo Saka on the left, or maybe Pepe and Willian on either side. So we'll have to monitor
it
that.
should
But I
be
feel,
that.
yeah,
I think it should be that way. Obama should be upfront. I don't know why being vested on left wing.
I don't know.
It
Maybe in
is
the last
seems to
fixture he did
accommodate
change it. He did change it at halftime or after 60 minutes when Aubameyang went up front when Pepe was introduced, but we'll have to see. So uh, I would say that our best picks would be Leno probably and Gabriel. I think you'd agree, along with Tierney if you're looking for defensive options.
Hmm.
Okay. These were the ends.
Yeah,
In terms of the outs, I would say that there were no major outs, but definitely you see Emiliano Martinez here. And I would say, in terms of the cheap goalkeeper options, he's the best one right now. I'm
yeah.
sure you'd agree with
We
me.
should stop stopping and I think Aston Villa also will keep a few clean sheets along the way.
Yeah,
So
so
I've used my wildcard in this international break and I have taken. So hopefully
definitely
we
quite a few
will.
people have because he rose from 4.5 to 4.7.
Yeah. So I think he is a good cheap option.
Definitely. Especially if you have like two cheap goalkeeper options, I think
Yeah.
rotational basis, he would fit in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Yeah, so that's it from Arsenal.
I
We
think
move on
we are
to Aston Villa. Uh, so Aston Villa have come from a weird scoreline 7-2. There have been a lot of people who now have started preferring Ollie Watkins to their other cheap striker options. Definitely, Ollie Watkins is a popular pick in terms of the FPL options right now, along with Barkley as
Mm,
well.
I would like to add that I actually took Ollie Watkins 2 fixtures away, 3 fixtures. I took
I
him
I,
for
I
kept
remember this.
2 fixtures. And I kept him for 2 fixtures, and then I ran out of patience due to as it was they were facing Liverpool, and then the massacre killing happened. So I think Ollie Watkins is a good option to have, but I think you need to have patience with him because he will score, but you don't know when he will score. So I think you need to give him 3 4 weeks, and he will might come up with good return on a short term basis when their fixtures are favorable.
I
And
think I
obviously,
think it
Barkley
also
is a
depends on the fact which are your current cheap options, because
yeah.
I feel quite a few cheap strikers are doing quite well.
So
So
I think yeah, I think we will cover that later on. I think the cheaper options are there in the other teams. I guess
yeah,
when we reach that teams, we will
yes.
discuss that options.
Another interesting option eventually
So I
would
guess
probably be Bertrand Traore, but I feel he'll take some time to settle in. Uh, in terms of the other Villa options,
I
you
think he
definitely have
makes
Jack Grealish,
he makes it.
who is quite a popular option.
Yeah, but I think in the bracket in which Grealish falls, there are better options there.
Definitely,
Obviously, he is a good short-term option, but if you are considering the penalty scenarios this season
definitely,
and
definitely.
other things, I think Grealish is a good option, but I don't see how it fits in anyone's team with the
I
heavy
think
midfield
it, he is around
options.
seven million, right?
Yeah, yeah. So if he was around 6.5, he was very good option.
Definitely, he would
But
have
I
been a
guess
no-brainer
with
in that case. But I think 7 is too steep for him.
yeah,
So these were the ins. I think they have quite a stable starting lineup, so you won't see a lot of tinkering in terms of the personnel changes. But you have certain better options in that team. So in terms of the outs, I feel that there were no major outs. No regular starters. So I think they are pretty well settled in terms of their starting lineup right now. Yeah?
yes. I think they replaced Samata with Watkins. That was a
Which is
good deal.
which is definitely an upgrade.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll move on to Brighton.
No, I think that Aston Villa, I think we can. Yeah, Brighton. So
So Brighton,
I think
I feel Lallana was the only major signing that they had, right? But the revelation has been
yeah,
this guy, Lamptey.
yeah.
Uh, he has been quite good. Mope has
So
been scoring
I,
quite many goals. So has Trossard.
yeah, I think their two good signings were done last season only. White and Lumpy. I think White had a good spell at Leeds,
Yeah,
and Lumpy. I think after they signed after January.
yeah,
So I think both of them has been a really good transfer for them, which allows them to have three at the back and allows Lamptey to have a free goal. And it has improved, I guess, Trossard's game as well, and obviously due to penalty reasons. I think Mope is a good option, but I think if you are investing heavily in midfield, you won't have budget of 6.5 for striker. Considering you are opting for having Jimenez or Ings. Otherwise, I think Mope would have been a good option.
I feel he is a good option, but again, it comes down to your preference. Uh,
Yeah,
it is like there are quite a few options, like you already said.
I think if you
Lamptey
have
is
Jimenez,
definitely interesting, I would say. Like,
yeah, I think
I,
Lamptey is a must. I'm a big fan of him, so I think he is a must.
I don't
And
see them
in terms of,
having a lot of clean sheets, so I don't feel that.
yeah, I don't think Brighton will have clean sheet, but he will provide good attacking returns, and I think at 4.5 this
I think
attacking
he's
return maybe
4.7 now.
should be, yeah, he's 4.7,
Yeah,
but I think it should be a good return
definitely.
at that particular price.
They have signed Weltman as well, but he hasn't started, and I feel that their back three is quite sorted. So I
I
see
think he is
them,
more.
yeah. So in terms of the outs,
Lavender, I don't.
I feel there are quite a few outs, but the regular starters are mostly there. I would say Aaron Moy was someone who started regularly along with Glenn Murray sometimes, and Dale Stephens also
Yeah,
transferred to Burnley. These were
yeah.
some of the regular starters.
I think what they did was they improved the defense and their fullbacks, but I think they still need work in midfield, which is the creative part, and I don't see any creativity there. Bissouma, Alzate, and I think they start with uh, I don't know the other third midfielder. So I think that three midfield combination doesn't provide much creativity, which is the part they are struggling with.
I think their attacking comes mainly through their fullbacks and the wings. So
Hmm.
I,
So they
I
have
would say
tried to emulate Sheffield, but they are not like defensively not still like Sheffield was last season.
yeah, nowhere near. Okay. We'll just move on to the next team, which is Burnley. Uh, Burnley basically are rocking with the same team almost, I would say. There's just Dale Stephens who has been signed. But
Hmm.
with Burnley, you are guaranteed a few things in terms of them always being in a contest. Um,
Hmm.
Nick Pope was like the most popular goalkeeper last season, and this season he is quite overpriced. I would say for 5.5.
Yeah,
Uh,
correct.
but I would say I would not prefer any of their attacking options. Definitely, maybe their budget defenders are something that you can look at, like Bardsley or Taylor.
I think
If need.
if you want to have a 4.5 midfielder, I think Dale Stephen fits the bill. Otherwise, apart from that, I think the reason they kept majority clean sheets last season is the introduction of Brownhill. I think they play 4-4-2, but if you see, it is more of a 4-5-1 and Barnes chips in
Definitely,
midfield. So it is more of a 4-5-1 midfield, and they have this Brownhill guy has tremendous work rate. So I think the majority of the times they kept clean sheet was due to this midfield setup, and obviously Tarkowski and Lee were in good form. I don't see them replicating this season. One of the reasons being Lee is still not fit,
yeah,
and Bardsley and is a year older. But I don't see the legs in midfield.
definitely. I completely agree. Uh,
So
I would say they'll be there and thereabouts in terms of the mid-table to the
I
bottom
think
table.
they
I
will
don't see them getting relegated back, but
I think they will struggle until what you say December. Then maybe they will sign someone in Jan, and
maybe
after that Barnes would have that little spell which he does every season,
every season.
and and they will stay here.
Yes.
It is like that Monday. I don't know how they are surviving, but they are still surviving.
Okay. In terms of the outs, I think the major out was Jeff Hendrick uh, in terms of their wide players. So he's joined
Hmm.
Newcastle and he's already risen from being at 5 million to 5.1. So he is someone who did start regularly for Burnley, but I think they are going with Brownhill and McNeil mostly.
Yeah, so
So
I think Jeff Hendrick was not of use for them anymore. Brownhill has been good for them.
yeah,
I think the other key player which is not fit probably at the moment is Parth. So their midfield was this Westwood, Park, and Brownhill last
yeah,
season, which worked really well for them because all three were good. So I think it was more of a 4-5-1 at that time, and which helped them keep clean sheets. So
yeah.
let's say I don't think Stephens would play all the matches. I think Cork, Westwood, and Brownhill should be there
Yeah.
starting at side.
I think in terms of the picks, it's mostly the defensive picks. We wouldn't
Yeah,
go with any of the strikers or maybe a budget midfielder at best. Like that's what we
I
would
think we will
recommend.
have to see how they go ahead with the fixtures. And if they have good run, then we can think of having a good defender, Tarkowski or Taylor. But I don't see them having any sort of form at the moment. So I would avoid for now.
We'll move on to the
Although
next
many
one.
have Taylor.
Yeah,
Uh,
many do. I have seen that. Even I picked them in the initial drafts, but I have moved on. So
I think near to 4.5, there is only good one out and out good option, that is Lamptey
yeah.
at present.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now the
Chelsea.
big spenders. I was having a problem fitting in the ins in one page. So a lot of new players signed. Definitely, they have signed like a lot of players in attack. Werner, Havertz. We've yet to see Hakim Ziyech. Uh, they just completed the transfer of Edward Mendy, which might prove to be their most important transfer because of the form of Kepa. But
I think I just had this yesterday that Mendy got injured. So
oh, I did not know that.
on international duty. So they are back to Balaga again. I don't know the extent of injury, but he was injured
Yeah.
yesterday.
I feel that they might probably end up scoring some goals in the future. Like I saw them in the last match having Werner at uh, left wing, which I probably might not agree with. But I would say that I also see them conceding a lot of goals. So in terms of the FPL side of things, I would say Werner was quite a popular choice initially, but he has dropped from 9.5 to 9.3. Uh, Havertz, it's like like I don't know where you see him play, but it's like he doesn't fit in, at on the wings nor at sort of the cam position.
I took Warner initially, but it failed because I realized that they would need Ziyech and Havertz and Pulisic playing alongside him. So I think we would see a good return of Warner once all of them four combine. At present, I don't see them performing at the level which he performed in Germany. So I was reluctant on having any Chelsea defender, but what I saw versus Palace, right? I think I would probably go for Chilwell because he took corners and defense looked much settled.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. So attacking fullbacks
and
have
for
a
now, I am thinking of Chilwell,
yeah.
but maybe after Ziyech, Havertz, and Pulisic all three return, we might see a good performance from one.
I think another point which we we have discussed in the past quite a few times. So it is very important who your penalty takers are, and for Chelsea, it happens to be Jorginho. It's
Yeah,
not Werner, it's not say Tammy Abraham, it's
yeah.
Jorginho. So I think it is very important in terms of Werner's lack of scoring abilities at the moment.
Yeah, correct. I think I would agree on that.
In terms of the outs, I think what we saw on deadline day was Loftus-Cheek moved to Fulham, so maybe that would be a new start for him. Early on in the transfer window, we saw Willian moving to Arsenal, which probably put him into the starting lineup for Arsenal for some time. I don't know when it would last, but no major outs, I would say, in terms of it's all like the bench players or the fringe players.
I think they tried to offload many, but due to COVID, they were not
Yeah.
able to get the deals that they might have wanted actually. I think Liverpool faced the same issue. They wanted to have a few outs, but they struggled due to COVID.
I think
So I think
quite a
that,
few teams. Man United had the same problem. So did Arsenal. So
yeah.
I,
So I
I
think they would have offloaded one or two more. I think their initial lookout was having Jorginho and that Pjanic swap deal, which actually failed.
yeah,
So I think Chelsea we would look through Chelsea when their actual starting backside plays. That would include Ziyech, Havertz, Pulisic, and Werner up front, and maybe Jorginho and Kante or Kovacic or Kante playing behind them. And I think Thiago Silva and Chilwell might gel well.
yeah.
So let's
Both
see
are
how it
good
pans out.
defensively. So uh, we do not actually feel that Zuma might last. I see Espilicueta maybe starting as a centre back and maybe Reece James coming in at the right full back.
Possible, quite possible.
So yeah, that's it from Chelsea. I think Meet will keep this discussion to 5 teams now because it's been a very long video.
Yeah, I think it would be a very long video. So I guess we will, instead of 2 parts, we will separate it to 4 parts,
Yeah,
and that would work well, I guess.
yeah. Okay. So thanks, guys. If you did like the video, please, like I said, just push a like button, subscribe, push on the notifications button. It would really help us in these videos, and we need all your support right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we would have more idea about the player selection and all. Once the international break resumes, we will try to come up with a scout selection type of thing where we
Yeah.
will pick a team
Yeah.
each week. So
Yeah.
for now,
Every
we are
week,
discussing.
I think we'll have a
Yeah,
select 11 of our picks as well every week. So
yeah, I think we can do that. So for now, what we are focusing on international break, that how each team will have their lineups, right? So we have covered 5 teams. I think in the upcoming sessions we will cover few. I think all the rest of the teams, right? Uh,
the
so I
next time.
think 5 pairing would be a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Okay then, guys. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for our next video, and
Okay.
see you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.